As we were trying to set up our cubicles, Kia and I were called by the two heads. For someone who prefers not to be under the radar of his bosses on his first day, I have failed. Kia, as usual, calm as if she knows why they called for us. We entered the elevator accompanied by the security guard who has access to the upper floors. We reached the 22nd floor where the two heads conjure their commands to the rest of the floors. The atmosphere changed. A sudden chill. Kea and I both looked at each other as if we could talk telepathically. As we slowly approached the dark room near the entrance, a sudden violent wind blew from the door. We quickly took a step back. The security guard was somehow already 10 steps back. I mean, you can't bring people to some godforsaken, ghostly picnic room and not take a lead. What kind of training did they make them do? Unacceptable! I tried not to let my thoughts escape. A firm voice echoed, "You may enter." I conjured the courage to take a step. Kia followed behind me. It was a rare moment. She never allowed me to take a lead in any situation. I would have never let her forget it, but the atmosphere in this room has me on full guard. As we entered, to our surprise, the room was covered with snow. "What kind of magic is this?" Kea shouted without realizing it herself, an ominous laugh in the background, approaching us at an alarming rate. "You have never changed, little Kia. Still curious about everything magic, I see." She walked toward her desk covered with snow. As she walked, a cold breeze blew in all directions. "Don't be alarmed. I just finished my afternoon training. Dr. Sabanda, one of the two heads, sits before us. She was born of wind. She has dominion over the skies. The genius magician sits before us." We all looked back, and it was the security guard introducing Dr. Sabanda. Did we enter a cult or something? I carefully thought to myself, and I think Kia had the same thought too. "Afternoon, Auntie. Little Kia reporting for duty, ma'am." Kia playfully addressed Dr. Sabanda. You could hear the shock from the security guard manifesting into a being. Dr. Sabanda laughed. She approached Kia and gave her a hug. "It's been a while, my dear. Why don't you ever visit me?" She spoke softly to Kia. Kia trying to come up with excuses. I probably would guess that she never visits because she is always working. Dr. Sabanda looked at me. She slowly raised her hand towards me, and a violent wind blew straight at me. I quickly created a force field around me, and the wind suddenly calmed. She smiled. The guard already standing at the door. He must be the fastest person in this building. "At first I thought my eyes were deceiving me when I read your file, Kyle. But now I think there are a lot of things missing on that file." She boastfully complimented me. "To have a test of strength from one of the heads is an honor, ma'am." I respectively bowed. "He has manners, too. Kea, when are you two getting married?" She threw a Cupid's arrow at Kia. You could see me blushing the snow out of the room. "I have urgent matters to speak with these two. You can wait outside," she commanded the security guard. He left the room, and we had a long conversation with Dr. Sabanda. She asked us to choose 5 people who will be on our main team. She gave us a list of recommend officers with a multitude of talents. I was amazed that such people existed outside the office of the minister. We picked Reina Tlaco, a lead hacker and chef. Kea suspects that I picked her because of her amazing cooking skill. But there was something more interesting on her profile which caught my attention. She matched my craziness. I believe we will be good friends. The other were Thabo Sotetsi, Lethal Response Field Team Leader, Sam Malihe, Magical Defense Researcher, High Priestess Pudi, Lead Medic and Religion Researcher, and Brooke Magamatha, Surveillance Expect and Intelligence Operative. We spent most of the afternoon trying to come up with a name for the team. Someone suggested the name The Experiments. I wonder whom. We finally found the name we all agreed on, Elite 7, also known as E7. The conversation with Dr. Sabanda ended, and we went back to the 20th floor and moved all our teammates close to each other. "Listen up, everyone. You have been tasked to investigate the murder of a government official at the corner of Bucket and Arcadia Street. We can't have criminals do as they pleased here in the capital city." Dr. Sabanda dropped a digital case file on my desk as she gave a command. "Yes, ma'am." We all saluted. She left. "Are we not supposed to be investigating forbidden magic? These looks like a job for homicide, no?" a curious Reina asked. She made a good point. But Dr. Sabanda does not strike me as a person that would make a mistake assigning tasks. I paused in my thoughts and took a look at the case file she dropped on my desk. Everyone waiting anxiously for my response. Well, this is something you don't see every day. Yes, this is magic, all right. While I was about to share the content, Kia interrupted me as I felt her hair touch my face on my left-hand side. Everything is wrong with this crime scene. We need to get there before they contaminate it more, she demanded. Okay, let's get going then. Reina and Brooke, team up to gather some information about what happened, anything on the social platforms that can get us answers. Thabo, assemble a tactical team and meet us there in case we need to knock on some unfriendly doors. Sam and High Priestess, you are on standby. I unearthed my leadership skills from a long slumber. Kia was impressed. If I knew that she would like this side of me, I would have climbed the leadership positions every chance I got. We then left. Kia was driving because, for some reason, I don't own a car. We arrived at the crime scene. The murder happened at a building just near the intersection. It was a 3-floor apartment. The place is swamped with police officers. We could barely find a parking space near. I wonder what a government official was doing here. This place is mainly occupied by students. Kea already started her investigation by walking just outside the building. According to the case file, he was visiting his daughter, whom is a student at the University of Pretoria. He usually visits this area twice in a week. He seemed like an active parent. I shared the content with Kia. That would mean the perpetrator knew his schedule. She insisted on her theory. Kia, there is something I need to tell you before we enter this building. I have been meaning to tell you for a while. I summoned the courage from the depth of the abyss. She looked at me, stunned. I could swear she started blushing. Well, you know about my unique skill, all-seeing eye? The mood suddenly changed. I could feel her gaze piercing through her eyeglasses. What about it? She impatiently asked. There is more to it than what I may have disclosed on my profile. Her curiosity started to gleam like sunrise as I explained about my oracle abilities that I only shared with the minister, and now Kia. I am practically part of the family now. I never would have imagined that such abilities existed. The trouble you will get in for not disclosing, she scolded me. Let's keep this a secret, shall we? I swallowed my anxiety. Don't worry, this will make my work more easier. Your secret is safe with me. She hinted a grin. We entered the building and we were directed by the officers to the apartment where the crime occurred. It was apartment number 203 on the 2nd floor. You could smell the residue of magic as you entered the apartment. The apartment had 2.5 bedrooms, a bathroom, kitchen, and a living room which was used as a bedroom. It looks like the place was shared by students. The murder happened at the half room which was combined with the balcony. Do your thing. I will speak with the witnesses. Kia distracted everyone to give me space to use my unique skill. Hello, I am Dr. Kia with PID. Can you tell me what happened? She asked one of the girls that stayed in the apartment. She explained to her that she was not around when the murder happened. It appears that she was the one who found the victims. Kia continued to question the student and found out that only the government official and his daughter were the only ones here when she came back. One of her other roommates is writing an exam. She has not returned yet, and the other went home a week ago. Kia further investigated the apartment. She noticed that there was no forced entry. The perpetrator might have had access, or the door was not locked, she thought. She then came to the half room. She watched me as I placed my hands on the floor near the victims. I then stood up and told her she can start with her forensics investigation.